changes for the start.
I've had some nice things to say about your pregame and just your coaching and the type of person you are. Is there something you'd like to say in terms of how Doc is as a coach, or
Nothing.
nothing? Nothing to say? Yeah, so something, mutual respect there between the two?
Pop, Kawhi came into this league as a guy who didn't really shoot it that well, didn't pass it that well. We've seen the jump he's made shooting. Are you surprised he's made the jump he has as a playmaker, particularly this season with them?
How many years did we have him? We saw everything.
Even if it didn't show up in the numbers, the passing and stuff like that.
He grew from day one, the entire time he was there. He grew into the Kawhi Leonard you see today. He did a lot of work. Our staff did a lot of work. He came a long way. He was fantastic. Doc's wonderful.
Have you seen Doc Rivers as a coach?
Wait a second. He's the best.
Pop, throughout your time coaching, how did you wrestle with the different variables in determining when to sit guys to play them?
Well, that's by the seat of the pants. There's no formula or algorithm for that. You just have to have a feel.
What do you think of how things have evolved with the league, of the load management initiative?
I don't have an opinion. I don't really care. Everybody does what they need to do for their players. We've done it. Everybody's, done it to some extent. Maybe more now so than in the past. I'm sure guys like, Larry Bird, Michael, Magic, they wonder what the hell is going on. Just go play. Quiet. Can you imagine Kevin McHale saying, "I need rest tonight"? But it's a new time and we've all done it, so we're all at fault, I guess.
When you have a player like DeJounte who's dealing with some of that right now, do you turn most of that over to the medical staff in terms of picking which games he sits and?
No, they have nothing to do with that. They just tell us how many minutes he can play and he's going to play back-to-backs and that sort of thing for a while. So the games, we just play them as they come. Like he'll play tonight and he won't play tomorrow. But we're not going to play the game of which game do you think you might have an easier time. And every time you start doing that sort of thing, it bites you in the rear end. So you just go play.
Is the solution to load management maybe just reduce the number of games at all?
Just what?
Is the solution to load management for those who are against
I
it?
don't have the solution to that. So above my pay grade. I just coach pick and roll and defense and things like that.
Speaking of DeJounte, you guys play at an incredibly fast pace after turnovers, after rebounds, but a fairly slow one.
Do we? I didn't know that.
Like near the top of the league, and then
How many games we played?
only 3 or 4, so it's a small sample. But with DeJounte, he's somebody that you can empower to really push that pace.
Well, that's who he is. He's got the same sort of a speed ticker inside of him as Russell has. He's got that kind of speed, and so it would be remiss on our part to slow him up very much. He wouldn't be the same player. And he'll learn. He reminds me of Tony Parker. Just a young kid who's got some skills and wants to do really well. We have to kind of paint up, clean up, fix up around the edges a little bit, but let him be who he is and see where it goes.
There's a lot of teams
I'm not
across.
really good at that.
There's a lot of teams across the league, especially this season, taking early offense threes rather than settling into a half-court possession. But you guys seem to more value the getting into a half-court possession, maybe getting a cut or spot up 3 off a driving kick. How do you weigh whether to go for one of those early threes in an early offense?
Part of it is who might shoot the ball. Some guys don't have the green light to do that, other guys do. That's the first notion. But after that, it's a coaching philosophy, a coaching decision from that point on. We think defenses break down as the ball changes sides and X amount of roll passes and that sort of thing. We hope that defense will let up and you're going to find a great shot rather than find an early shot that may be contested. But if you can find uncontested shots early from the right people, you should be taking advantage of them.
But with the extension of your contract, talk about the value that you bring to the team as far as your experience and What are the keys to your success as a coach?
What are the keys to Doc Rivers' success as a coach?
Doc is obviously he's knowledgeable, but basketball is a whole lot more than O's and X's at this level. I mean, everybody knows their O's and X's. I don't care if you're a high school coach, a college coach, a big-time college coach, or a small-time college coach, or a pro coach. It doesn't matter. There's no magic, but relationships are really important. And Doc understands people. He develops great relationship with guys. They want to play for him. He understands what wins and loses, and he understands the fundamentals of the game and works at that. So it's a combination of things, but his relationship skills, along with his vast knowledge, both as a player and a coach, make him wonderful.
You just mentioned that he would like to institute load management for coaches, where coaches can take games off. Would you be in favor of that?
I would do that. I just wish we were in sweatsuits. I'm serious. I'm a big proponent of gym shoes and nice looking sweatsuits. You don't have to worry about ties and coats and changing and dragging all that stuff around. I don't see baseball managers or football coaches running around anymore. I think Hank Stram did that, and some of the old Dallas coaches did that, but they were classier. We don't have that kind of class.
What would the fine be if you went out to the sidelines or to the court, just like this?
I don't know. There would be a fine of some sort. $3,000, I guess.
Baseball managers are in full uniform, though. Baseball managers are in full uniform. Are you ready to?
Yeah, but it's like they did that when they were kids. It's great. They probably feel good in that uniform.
In the years
you kick dirt, you don't have a suit on. Baseball uniform right here.
in the years that you had him, did you have a moment that stood out with Kawhi over the years, other than like the championship?
Wow, Kawhi's pretty steady. I mean, he's not a big talker, and he doesn't try to find the limelight or anything like that. He's just a good guy who wanted to be good and put in the time. But there wasn't one moment where you'd say, "Wow." I mean, when he first came in, you saw his work ethic, and you look at his physical skills that he has, his length, his hands, his size, his strength. So the next step is, how hard does he want to work? When we drafted him, made that trade and drafted for him, we didn't know he was going to be Kawhi Leonard, just like we didn't know Manu was going to be Manu when we drafted him at whatever, I can't even remember, 57 or something like that. People who tell you that are full of crap. You never know how a player is going to develop, whether he's drafted 4th or 19th. You just don't know. But from the get-go, Kawhi had a work ethic that was exemplary, and he also absorbed whatever the development guys were doing with him. Will Hardy and Chip England and Chad Forcier, whatever they would do, he would just eat it up, whether it was, learn how to shoot a regular shot, or starting to work on threes, or work on pick and rolls, or step backs. The first thing we did was talk to him about defense. From day one, I hit him. I said, "You need to be an all-league defender. That's your first goal. The offense will come. We'll work on that as time goes by. We'll see where it goes," because we didn't know where it was going to go. But it was obvious that he could be a great defender, and he bought in, and he did it right off the bat at the defensive end. And slowly but surely, year after year after year, he got better and better at the offensive end. In the last 2, 3, 4 years, he's felt very comfortable with the ball, pick and roll, that sort of stuff. So,
What kind of a vocal leader was he at all, if at all?
he wasn't a vocal leader. That's not, Timmy wasn't a vocal leader. And everybody leads in different ways. While he was there, Tim and Manu and Tony were there, so they were the guys that you kind of looked to when he was developing. But that was going to be the next step for him. He started talking about leadership and that sort of thing. But he set an example of practice and games every day.
Coach, can you speak about Bryn Forbes' development over the past couple of years? He's turned into one of the best shooters in the NBA.
Yeah, you got to be really happy for a kid like that who wasn't drafted. And he spent, I don't know, maybe 2 years down in the D League, when it was the D League, I guess. And he'd come up and work against us, and he'd go back down there and he'd play and play. And again, the development guys just kept working with him to build his confidence and to Now, you know, he shoots, he does his feet like he's copied Steph Curry pretty well. You know, he always gets balanced, he turns his body, he looks like Riddick, he looks like Curry. You know, a lot of players can't do what those guys do to get their bodies in position to shoot well, properly. But he's put work in to do that, and this is his last year on the contract, so either we're going to have to pay him or lose him.
I take it you prefer to pay him.
We would love to do that. We'd love to do that. Anybody else? Okay, have a great night.
Thank you.
Take care.